Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Happy almost weekend. And welcome to our March Flagstar Flex series. Certainly appreciate you taking time out of your day today to join us. Again, I think we have a extremely timely and relevant topic for today's session. But as always, like I say, I want to stop and say, obviously, hopefully everybody's doing good, healthy, safe, your family members, your loved ones, friends, all that good stuff. And look, as always, we certainly appreciate your partnership. And look, I think this is our 24th or 25th Flex series. And again, we're just trying to bring in an ever-changing environment market value to you as our business partner. And I'm really excited about today's show. So in January we did the first one of 23, and the theme was around social. And we had our good friend Josh Pitts from Shred Media on, and he shared some thoughts and ideas with us around social and literally how to get started, right? And then last month we had Dave Stevens on, and he really talked about, kind of thriving and setting yourself up for future success and what the 23 market was going to look like, from a couple different things, right? Rates, affordability, you name it. It was a well-rounded session, and it was backed by a lot of data and facts, right? Which is what I really love, because it took the emotion out of it. By the way, if you have not watched that series yet, I highly encourage you to. There's probably another email going out from me today to all of our business partners with it embedded in an email. So it's coming your way this afternoon. But I thought there were powerful, it was a powerful session, and really kind of had optimism, a positive outlook, and just factual data around what you can expect in 2023 and going forward in 24. And I'm really excited about our guest today. Because I think it kind of goes right back in line with the social front, right? And I think those are two key things right now: is understanding the data, taking the emotion out of things, not buying into the mass media and the agendas. No matter who you listen to, there's usually some type of agenda, and really looking at it from a well-rounded, factual perspective. And then how can I, grow my business knowing that those are the challenges that I'm going to be faced with in a positive way? And I continue to focus on social being the way. So I'm going to introduce our guest speaker. And before we bring them out, I want to kind of give you a little bio on them. So I think I got to meet Joe for the first time at the NBA last year in Nashville. And I had seen him online before, had never really met him. And I met him there, oddly enough, at the NBA. And it's Joe. His name's Joe Wilson. He's the CEO and founder of The Social Coach. If you don't know what that is, or you haven't followed him, it's a social media management platform for mortgage and real estate companies. He has over 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, product management, encompassing both, mainly mortgage and real estate. And he's held various executive positions at several different companies. I'll name a few, right? Simple Nexus is one, Ellie Mae is another one. And there's a few others out there as well that he was affiliated with at one point in time before founding The Social Coach. And certainly if you follow Housing Wire, he's been recognized as one of their rising stars. And if you follow NMP, he's been recognized as one of the most connected individuals in the mortgage industry. So with that being said, I'm going to welcome Joe to the stage.
What's up, John and everybody? Thanks for having me on today.
What a nice. What's going on, bro? How we doing?
Doing awesome. How are you, sir?
I cannot complain. Excited to have you, as I mentioned, right? And look, hey, before we get started, a reminder for everybody, right? If you have any questions, obviously down below is the ability to put questions in. That'll pop up on me. We'll get to them as we go through the session. But Joe, how you doing? How you been?
Life's good, man. It's busy. Been out on the conference circuit recently. Just got back from the Mortgage Collaborative Conference, and before that was the ICE Experience, Las Vegas.
Yep.
There's a lot of excitement in this industry right now because I feel like we're kind of starting to come up out of that trench of like, holy crap, rates are so high, my margins are crazy, to now like, all right, it's 2023, we're well into 2023. let's figure out how to absolutely crush this with our team and grow again. So the panic is mostly over. And now many companies are looking to, let's figure out how we can take advantage of this time and grow. So it's fun.
Yeah, and Joe, that's why I was excited when we connected about doing you coming on. So one, we appreciate you coming on and to do the series with us, because I think you're spot on, right? We touched on that a little bit in the one last month with Dave Stevens, which is like, okay, we're there now, right? Like, we know the environment that we're in. We're not in the 3% interest rate environment anymore. We accelerated probably faster than people thought we were to get to. We always knew we were getting to this point. We just thinking we were going to get there as fast as we did last year.
Yeah.
But we kind of know the playing field, right? Like, we know what it's going to look like for the remainder of this year. We have a general idea what the Fed's going to do. You can kind of see it in the market, right? We know what's out there. We know what that's going to look like going through the rest of this year into 24. Mm-hmm. But there's so much opportunity in regards to how you structure and set yourself up now going into next year to take advantage of this marketplace. And it was why I was excited to have you, because to me, I think social, and you can kind of chime in, tell me if you think I'm crazy, but I think social is the platform where everybody's at, and people in our industry aren't taking advantage of it enough to generate referrals and grow business.
Yeah, no, you're totally spot on. And I could call you crazy, but maybe not just for that comment.
True.
No, it's probably true, right? No, I think we're all a little crazy, but no, you're spot on in the sense of, all right, the market has shifted to rates are crazy, but over the past 3 years, the pandemic has forever changed the way that we do business and the way that not just business in general, but like specifically the mortgage business and the way that we connect with people, with consumers and with realtors. And you're right, there are many loan officers are not taking advantage of this. And actually, maybe we could I want to share once. Let's share the slide deck, because I want to show.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
So
yep,
this is kind of what we're talking about here. And the average American is spending 2.5 hours a day on just social media, right? That's the average American. I think many of us on this call, if you're at all interested in social media, you probably spend a little more than 2.5 hours. It's embarrassing to look at your screen time and see what's on there. But you mentioned that loan officers are not taking advantage of this. But it's funny, because realtors are not. This is a National Association of Realtors stat, said that 91% of realtors, all realtors nationwide, are on social media. Not only are they on it, but they're using it as a tool to get new business. And what you don't see on here, the surprising stat I saw just the other day, was that only 20% of loan officers are on social media using it to get new business. I mean,
so that's interesting to me, right? That's what I'm talking about. Like, from an LO's perspective, how much are we missing out on this? And I guess let me ask you a question, right, as we go through this. So define social media so everybody understands when you say, like, so that's all the different platforms, right? Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, it's all of that wrapped up into one.
It's all wrapped up into one. So whatever you consider social media, I mean, you could even consider Pinterest being social media, because it's a way to interact with people online and share different things. But I think when we look at which platforms are most successful, and we get a lot of data through our platform. We're posting tens of thousands of times per month to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter for mainly loan officers, but also some real estate brokers as well. But what we're seeing is the number one platform that realtors are engaging on is Instagram. And it's funny enough, the number one platform where loan officers are on is Facebook. So we have a little bit of some work to do here, And so if I were producing loan officer today, and I used to be, I was a loan officer. It was my very first job out of college. I did it for 6 years. And, if I were the originator today, I would be 100% on Instagram. That's where all the realtors are. And we all know that, in this business, your referral sources, and specifically realtor partners, are the lifeline of your business. And so looking at this from like a really strategic sales perspective, you got to go where your referrals are, right? You got to be, locked arm in arm, doing what your realtors are doing, right? If they were in their office, you used to bring them donuts. They're not in their office anymore. They're recording videos out of different home sites, right? Or in their home office or by the pool or wherever. Go where your agents are, go where your consumers are, and that's on social media. And hot tip and hot take is that Instagram is where I would be spending most of my time.
Yeah. So, Joe, let me kind of dive into that a little bit more, because that's not the platform I thought you were going to say. And I was going to ask you the question, okay, break it down for the audience, right? Where are the real estate agents engaging? Because let's face it, 85 to 90% of the production that's going to get done this year is a purchase transaction, right? For our fellows on watching this, or who will see this.
Yep.
Why do you think, in what you're seeing, what's the analysis show as to why Instagram for the real estate agents?
That's a really, really good question. And if I could extrapolate the data, and this is me using just making connections here, so I don't have any real solid reasoning other than just like it honestly makes sense, is that Instagram is, of the many platforms, is the most visual in nature, right? You've got video and still pictures. It's highly curated, and it's easy to engage with, and it's very, very popular as well. And it's very popular with the right key demographics, right? Everyone's talking today about TikTok and how amazing that is. And if that's your target demographic is first-time home buyers and younger people, and you're funny and engaging and you love to create video, by all means, go to TikTok, right? Now, and side asterisks and note on that is, I don't know if TikTok's even going to be around in 6 months if you don't have anything to do with it. So
that's right.
I wouldn't use that as my only strategy today. But Instagram is totally proven to be the number one platform for these realtors. And it's because everyone looking at homes and home content is so like appealing visually. And there's a lot of individuals, a lot of Americans are like literally obsessed with looking at homes. That's why Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com are some of the highest viewed websites in the country. And so that content is then being taken from those platforms of home search and really coming on to the most visually appealing, and skews a little bit older, not too old like Facebook, but older in the sense that you're looking for move-up buyers and things like that. Elder millennials, Gen Xers, and younger boomers are all on Instagram, and that's where the realtors are. So that's where I would be.
That's interesting. I seriously, I would have thought it would have been Facebook, honestly. And maybe that's dating me as someone who's 52 years old, right? Which is like, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, because I think when you have a kid going through like middle school and high school, you're going to follow them so you can see what's going on, right?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. The kids don't even. I've got a high schooler and two middle schoolers and an elementary schooler, but they're not even doing Instagram anymore. They're like, that's for that's for us older guys. I don't even care about that anymore. They're on like Be Real and TikTok and all those things, but and Snapchat. But they are to an extent. But yeah, you're right. It definitely skews a little younger. But I think Facebook has its value too, and we can talk about that in a little bit. But I think where I think we feel comfortable as originators on Facebook is there are so many other originators. And we have this kind of mentality of like groupthink, and we want to be where we're comfortable. And there are so many Facebook groups with really, really interesting, group dynamics on them. You've got top performing coaches on there that have their groups. You've got mortgage memes. You've got, Flagstar's got that. You've got all these different like really great, almost like back in the day, like early in the internet, like the bulletin board, sites, right? Where it's like, that's that kind of the mentality, like the Reddit type of feel. That's what you see on Facebook. But Facebook itself has done some interesting things with the way that they require kind of businesses to operate, in the sense of like Facebook pages, which are not the most like consumer friendly, like who you're trying to get to. Like it's difficult to share via, back to your profile. And it kind of makes you separate your personal and your business a little too much.
Yeah.
Where Instagram is all in one. And I think that the successful originators have done a really fantastic job at melding their personal and their business life into one profile and not having to go back and forth to a business page. And so the ones that are having the most success are really doubling down on that Instagram strategy.
It's interesting you say that, right? Because on the Facebook approach, I think for a lot of people in our space, to your point, that's the platform that if they're on social, they're comfortable with, they know it, it's easier for them, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's where you see more around, because to your point, I do think it's clunky between the personal and the business side of the ledger, so to speak. And I think that's why you see more of the conversation on social around staying in touch with your community, being consistent, and you can do that much more on Facebook from a personal perspective versus having like a business page, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Now, look, here's what I'll tell you guys. And again, remember, put questions down below. Like right off the bat, we're 10 minutes in, 15 minutes in. And here's a little nugget that I like to call these little nuggets that we drop out there on these things. The majority of your real estate agents that you're prospecting or trying to develop a relationship with or go deeper in a relationship with, you just found out that most of them, the greater percentage of them, are using Instagram. And why? Like, to me, now let's start going down the path of, okay, now, Joe, I'm a loan officer. I know all this information, but what do I do?
Yeah, well, that's a perfect segue into the next talking point here. And I've talked to, I've interviewed thousands of different loan officers, and we do a lot of deep research to try to back up like the why and how to be successful on social. And really what it comes down to is coming up with a sales strategy, something that's repeatable that you can do every single day or every other day or whatever you can commit to being consistent with, and writing it down and doing it every single day. So here's kind of what I've come up with that are really good ways that these are things that you could do every single day, and it would take you less than 20 minutes to do. Okay. So if you did these, 4 things every single day, the number of people that you would touch in a month is astronomical. The number of people's lives that you would touch, the number of realtor connections that you would make, the number of new connections you would make is just out of control. So the first one is, let's find 10 new people to connect with. And I would say, at least one of those needs to be a realtor in your area. And I want to talk about that specifically. And we're going to do a little exercise. So while I'm talking about these next couple things, make sure you got your phones out, because we're going to do a little exercise. Okay. And it's going to be kind of fun. And I hope you'll be excited about it, but maybe not. But go with me on this. So we're going to find people. I'm going to show you how to find realtors that are really good for you to do business with. Okay. That's what we're going to do, because that's the number one thing that you should be focused on. So that finding activity, we're going to do that together.
Okay.
The second thing is talking about liking 5 posts. So going through and just simply double tapping, right? That is good, but this next one is better, and that's commenting on 5 posts. And this is the most important one that you can possibly do, is commenting on strategically commenting on specific realtors' posts. Okay. So we're going to talk a minute about how to find good realtors. Maybe you already connect with a bunch of good realtors, but actually commenting something meaningful and that's adding to a conversation is the way you want to do this. And I've got kind of a little method that I do when I'm trying to comment on people's posts that I want to do business with. So if I'm want to do business with John, I'm going to find John's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn profile. I'm going to look at his posts, and I'm going to look at them almost every day. I'm going to see if he's doing anything on social media. And then I'm going to comment on every single one of his posts, because I want him to know that I'm following him, not in a creepy way. And that's John, that's coming out of my mouth. It sounds a little stockish, but I'm out here to support you as an individual and engaging with your content. But I have one of 3 types of comments that I do for each individual I'm trying to get to gain their attention or engage with on social. And I have it as it's CCQ. So the first C is compliment. So complimenting them, like, so let's just say John has a picture of him, going live here with the Flagstar Flex, and I'd be like, "Hey, John, I love your background set up there. Like, looks like a great library you're in. Lighting looks good. You look, everything looks great, right? That's a compliment.
Yep.
A common, and then the next C is a commonality. Oh man, I was live on Flagstar Flex the other week. Like, let's connect on this, right? Or oh hey, it looks like you've got this same book that I have, right? Or like finding a way to have a commonality that will say like, oh, we're the same. And then the third one is Q for question. So CCQ, compliment, commonality, or Q for question. So, hey, John, tell me about your built-in there. Did you build that yourself, or was it just like that when you moved into the office, right? Asking, and that's the best one because asking a question solicits a response.
It's engagement, right? You're getting engagement at some point. If they respond, now all of a sudden they've opened up the door for you to continue the dialogue.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely doing that, posting or commenting on individuals' posts, engaging content, engaging comments will get them to respond. I mean, imagine this, guys. If you posted something about, closing, or, you did a quick video about, an FAQ about MI premiums changing in price, like that happened last week. Whatever it is, if someone asks you a question, you're going to get so pumped about that. And you're going to respond to that no matter who it is. Even if it's an MI guy that wants to get your business, right? Like you're going to want to respond and be excited that they reached out to you, right?
That's
it's
right.
The same thing for the realtors. When you engage in their content and you ask them questions, they're going to be pumped that a loan officer in their area is wanting to do business with them. So there's that. And then the last one is, getting, DMing 5 people. And this is just for you, a way for you to stay in touch with literally anybody. The whole goal of social media is to stay top of mind with as many people as you possibly can, and how that scales by having people all in one location. Looks like we got a question here though, John, from JP. Would it be better if you were on both Facebook and Instagram and connected accounts and posted on the platform, or just continue concentrating on one platform? I love that. Like, I think that, that is a really, really good question. I personally would focus my efforts on Instagram, but when you do have an Instagram professional account, you can tie it back to your Facebook business page. And that's really the best thing you could do. And then what happens is you post natively on Instagram and it will post back out to your Facebook page. And if you do a story, it would also go onto Facebook. And if you do a reel, it will also go on Facebook. You might as well post on both. But I would spend the majority of my time focusing in on a strong Instagram strategy. John, any comments on that?
No, it's funny because I was going to ask you that question and I hadn't seen it pop up. Yeah. Because look, here's what I think, and I wanted to get your opinion on this, but I also want to keep diving down this because I want to see the way we find people, because you're going to walk us through an example. But I think I was going to ask you about the connectivity, right? Because I think when my daughter was home from college, she connected all my accounts together, right? So if I post something, I feel like I've seen that I posted something on Facebook and then it showed up on my Instagram account too, both on the personal side. So there is a way to link them. I guess that's my thing, right? Like, would you think that the answer really depends on what you're using, how you're trying to connect with people and which audience you're trying to connect with? Because I think what the mistake is they think they have to do everything, right? I got to be on Instagram. I got to be on Facebook. I got to be on LinkedIn. I got to be on Twitter. And then that's where you get overwhelmed. It doesn't work. And then you basically kick it to the curb and you're not trying anything anymore.
Yeah. Look, this is the gospel according to Joe, right? Like, this is what I would do. It's like, it's not what's perfect for you. What you need to do as an individual is decide, where do I want to spend my time? Because that's where you're going to have success. What is the audience I have already? And is that where I can spend my time? So if you're all in on Facebook today, you've got a huge bunch of followers that are realtors, builders, financial planners, and potential consumers, potential buyers, then stay on Facebook. And if that's where you're comfortable, just do it.
That's right.
If you want to go out and kind of explore, get new realtors, or you're looking to expand into other markets or try something different, go on Instagram, right? But if you absolutely love Twitter and you're just more of like a keyboard warrior and you can spend a lot of time on Twitter, then you know what? You need to be on Twitter. But if you're not that individual, like you can't commit a lot of time and effort and love to respond and you kind of battle people out, don't go on Twitter at all. Like it's not worth your time. So I think, John, you bring up a really, really good point on that. Like it's really important for you to know your boundaries and know where you're going to have success.
Well, and Joe, I love what you're talking about, right? Because again, in sessions like this, I think the easy thing is, okay, you're not doing anything. You want to get started. You ask all the questions, how do I get started? And the easy route is, well, I know Facebook, so I'm just going to go there. I'm going to apply these principles. Yeah. So what I would tell anybody that's watching this, if that's what you're doing and Facebook's your go-to, awesome.
Go with it.
But instead of changing your strategy to Instagram, let's do what Joe's talking about. If I'm you, right? The LO, you need to get more referral relationships. It's a purchase market. That means you got to get tied in with more real estate agents in your community that can refer you business. Keep doing your Facebook strategy that's working for you and that you're consistent with. But Joe's going to walk you through right now, like, how do you find real estate agents? And we just told you 10 minutes ago, that's where the majority of them are at. Yeah. So make yourself the odds of succeeding better. Engage in the same platform that they're already on and that they're working on. And this isn't saying create this whole strategy. This is saying start doing this on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and you're going to make more referrals via Instagram. Don't overthink it is what I would say.
Yeah, that's the best advice, John. Don't overthink it, but do it. Commit to actually doing it and be consistent with it. All right. So let's get our phones. Let's get our phones. So open up your phone, open up Instagram, and let's work on this together. And I got to put my glasses on because I'm an old man now, but I can't see my screen anymore. That's like it's a little embarrassing. That's where I'm at, guys. And hot take on that. Just be you, right? I think I hear all the time from loan officers that they are afraid of how they sound or how they look, and that prevents them from posting video or images. Dude, everyone already knows what you look like. Everyone knows already sound like. So just get the frig on there. Get over yourself a little bit and just do it, right?
That's right. The first take's always the best take.
That's right. All right. So we're on Instagram now, okay? And here's what I'm going to do. In the bottom left corner, there's the home button, and the next side is a little search, little magnifying glass.
Yep.
Go ahead and click that magnifying glass for me.
Okay.
And in the top where it says search, go ahead and enter the name of your town that you're in. So I'm in San Clemente. And then attach the word, and this is all one word. So San Clemente Homes, or your name, your town, and homes. All right.
So all right. So for me, I live in Bristow, Virginia. So it's Bristow Homes. Got it.
Bristow Homes. All right. Now hit search. So you can hit the little search bar, the first one. Don't touch the people's names down below. Just hit the search bar. And then it's going to come up with like a bunch of posts here. Don't get distracted yet. What we're going to do is we're going to click on tags. It's at the very top. It's the fourth word across.
Yep.
Click on tags. And now you can see a bunch of hashtags, okay? This is what we've been trained to do for a long time, and what you should always be doing is find localized hashtags that are being used by real estate agents in your area and using those on your content, okay? So the first one for me is San Clemente Homes, and it has over 5,000 posts. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tap on that.
Okay.
And now I've got a bunch of local content from realtors that have used hashtag San Clemente Homes in their content.
Yep.
And so I can go top, or I can just say recent or real. So let's just click on recent. And now I'm gonna click on one. And I'm gonna see who the first one is, and it's the name is Real Estate Sharon. Guess what? I bet you anything she's a real estate agent. Okay, so now, and then the second one is the Abode SC. This looks like a craft shop. But the next one is Searise Studio. I've got Spinoza Interiors, Olnick Group. There are a bunch of realtors on here. So I've already, it's taken me 3 seconds on here. I've found 2 different realtors. So what I can do is I can tap on any one of those anybody that looks like a realtor, tap on their name. And I'm going to see, this is Sharon Dahlberg. She's a realtor here in San Clemente.
Yep.
She's got 378 posts. She only has 168 followers, but guess what? There's probably not any loan officers following her. I'm going to just click that big blue button that says follow, and I'm going to start following her. And then I can use our CCQ method to post a comment on her first, post here or multiple posts, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Look at this. Her second post is all about mortgage here.
I just saw that on the phone. It's all about mortgage rates.
Yeah, she's posting on that. So guess what, guys? Realtors are posting mortgage content. That's the perfect way for you to engage with that as the local expert in that area and provide your opinion on it, but in a helpful way. Never be combative. I know sometimes we want to be, even if they're completely.
No idea what you're talking about. You're wrong. That's not what the reality is, right?
Not going to be helpful in the slightest, right? But that's what you should do. That's how you can find realtors in your area. And then, okay, so that's one town. That's where I live. Now go to the other towns around you. I've got Dana Point, San Juan Capistrano, Laguna Beach, Laguna Niguel. Like all these towns are right here around me. And I do loans in all those towns. I'm not being person, but I'm saying the respective you.
Yeah.
Right. So do that same exercise, every day and find some agents to connect with. You can send them a DM. You can send them, comment on their posts, and just don't be weird about it. But
so, Joe, stop there for a second. Because, I mean, let's face it, right? You got to be smart in this.
Yeah.
Go back to what you just had on your phone, right? On who you found.
Yeah.
And let's just go to one of their posts.
Yeah.
And give an example, not the one about mortgage rates, but one that's about a house, a listing, whatever the case may be.
Check out this. This is the San Clemente. I think this is perfect, right? This is a beautiful picture of the San Clemente Pier and the beach.
Yep.
Right?
So give me an example. Give everybody an example. If you were going to post on that, what would you post?
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Well, first of all, this is actually not the San Clemente Pier. This is an old photo, and she's saying, "Did you know there was a pier in Capistrano Beach a long time ago?" And I had no idea there was a pier at Capo Beach, right? I only know about the pier in, the San Clemente main pier. So I would say, man, I had no idea. This is such a fascinating old photo. I love it. And I would say, what other cool, bits of local knowledge do you have?
Boom.
Or do you know when it came down, right? Ask a simple question about, and it could that was not about a house. That was just like a post that she put on there about the town, right? Maybe it is a post about a house. Be like, oh, hey, looks like a beautiful home. When's the next open house? Right?
Simple, right? Simple question in line with what they do, right? They're having a inquiring about, listen, I might know somebody that's looking to buy a home in that marketplace.
Yeah, and don't lie about that, right? Don't say that unless you really have somebody.
No, absolutely.
But I only say that because I know that's a lot of people's strategies, and I don't like that strategy at all. Don't say something that you don't really have, right? Realtors see right through that. And actually, what's funny is I was in Vegas last week, and I was on the flight home. I ended up sitting next to a realtor. Remax had an event there in Vegas that last week, and they had a huge event, and I ended up sitting next to a realtor, and I ended up having a conversation with her. And I asked her this question. I said, hey, what are ways that loan officers can reach out to you on social media and not be weird, right? Like, that was literally my question. I was like, every loan officer wants to know, what can they do that will get your attention? And she said, Joe, the first thing you should know is I get hit up not that often from loan officers on social media. Like, it's not that often, like maybe once a month. So guys, right away, don't be afraid to shoot your shot with these realtors, right? Like, it might as well send them a message. But she said, the number one thing that everybody says is the same exact thing. Oh, hey, I also live in your area and I would love to get to know you. Want to grab coffee? She said, that is the lamest thing that you could possibly say. Don't be that guy, because I won't even respond. I said, all right, well, what would get you to respond to, right? What is the thing that you would do? And she said, if you have something of value to provide to me as a realtor, that is what I want, right? And maybe that's so. I don't know what's in your marketing repertoire, guys, but one thing that you could do. So maybe you use, a co-marketing, listings tool, or you've got, some MMI data that you can share about the local area. Something of value that would be interesting for that realtor. Like, make it personal and give it to them, right? The other thing you can do, and I use this all the time, is I'm going to Chat GPT and ask Chat GPT like a question, like what would be, what are interesting things like for a realtor to post, so ask a chat bot, or come up with a list of 5 really unique video content ideas that a realtor can use. Say like, hey, I've been browsing social media and seeing what is really working well for realtors to get high engagement on Instagram Reels. And here are 5 ideas for you to take and use. And just say, and just give them to them. And if you don't know what it is, go on ChatGPT and ask it. It'll tell you exactly what to tell them.
Yeah.
But lead with value. Don't ask for anything. Give them something and go for it.
John, I think you went exactly where I was going with that comment. Look, this series, right? You've never heard me come on and talk about anything Flagstar related and try to pitch anything Flagstar, products, process, guidelines, AEs, anything, right? In the grand scheme of things, with any of the content that we've done, because this is much more about trying to bring people like Joe and others on to give you value so that you can grow your business. It's the same message, right? Like the idea of what you just said, let's stop and think about this, guys. Number one, you just found out that the greatest percentage of real estate agents are on Instagram. Boom. Number two, within a second of what Joe just walked us through, and I did it for where I live, there's at least 15 different links that popped up. I click on the first one. The first lady is a real estate agent. She covers DC, Maryland, Virginia. I live in Northern Virginia. She's got 317 people following her, and she's got all kinds of posts. And not all of them are house related. Some of them are like you talked about, videos of something or things coming up in the community that she did. As I was looking through it, that took all 30 seconds to figure this out.
Yeah.
Right. So there's 2 things. And then the third thing is, and I love that Joe put on here comment, because liking is great and people will look and see but the actual engagement comes from commenting. And he just walked you through in 30 seconds, like Google or chat, what you're talking about, whatever search engine you want to use.
Yeah.
And figure out how do realtors get more engagement from their client base or prospective clients on social media, and then share that with them as value coming to them. I guarantee you the lady you sat next to on the plane would love getting something like that from somebody versus, hey, you want to go get a cup of coffee?
Yeah, exactly. It's really, it's that simple.
So Joe, real quick.
Yeah, because we're running out of time. So
no, we're good. Keep going.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're find people. Easy. Just show us how to do it. That's simply hitting a button. Comment. I love the CCQ, and I really think the Q is the important one, right? Like that's how you get people to engage.
Yeah.
Just give a third, and there's a couple questions I want to get to too. Couple thoughts around direct message 5 people.
Yeah. That's like so critical to just DM, right? So it can be as simple as finding a friend that you just haven't talked to in a while. Just be like, hey, was just thinking about you today. How are you doing? Like that is the point of DMing 5 people is let's just stay on top of being social with people so that you're top of mind with those folks that you're actually connected with. If you think about your social media followers as followers, it doesn't matter. But if you think about it as building a community and having it actually be a way to engage with people in your network, that's when it becomes way more valuable. So it could be someone that you went to high school with. It could be a title rep. It could be an MI guy. It could be a realtor. Just find 5 people. Just pull out random. And just send a message and literally, you're not asking for anything. You're not trying to sell them on anything. You're not even, just literally saying, hey, It's like picking up a phone or texting somebody. It's a different way to reach out to people. And like we heard, like we talked about earlier, most law officers aren't doing this, guys. You can stand out of the crowd and be unique. So definitely do that, and just it's just being social and just being a buddy.
Yeah. So, Joe, one of the questions was, can't see the phone. You guys are going a little fast and showing the phone. Can you just do a recap, start from search? So I'm going to try to do it. I'm going to see if I got this right.
Awesome. Let's do it.
There you go. So the first thing you're going to do is you're just going to pull up your Instagram. Right? Well, first thing, if you're not on Instagram, you got to sign up for Instagram. You can put Joe back on. You got to sign up.
No. Be on you. It's bigger. That way they can see the screen.
All right. But if I get this wrong, you got to tell me what I'm doing wrong. So, okay. You're already signed into Instagram. You go on to Instagram. You are on the login page. Down below, right here, next to that home button is the search button, right? So you click on the search button. So now you're in search. On the top search, you're going to type in, I live in Bristow, Virginia. And Joe said all one word. I'm going to type in Bristow. Oh, helps if you spell it right. Bristow Homes.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I can hear Joe. So there you go. I've typed in Bristow Homes, and now I'm just going to hit search, right? So now search comes up, and then you're going to see, what was it, Joe? This screen's going to come up, and then on the top, underneath the search function, you're going to see 4 over is a hashtag sign, like the number sign, a hashtag sign. You're going to, I clicked on the wrong thing. You're going to click on hashtags, and then what's going to come up, and you can kind of see it on this, is Bristow Homes for sale, Bristow Homes Sweet Town, Bristow Homes Yachts, which, I mean, I guess
sounds cool.
It's kind of cool. But all I did was click on the first one, which was Bristow Homes. And then then you're going to get all these different posts come up. And I think I clicked on this one. No, I didn't click on this one, but let's see if I find one. Oh, of course, now it's not going to give me one. It didn't give me. Oh, no, here you go. Here you go. So when you pop up, there's one that came up with Nate Evans, Realtor.
There you go.
Nate Evans, Realtor. Now I'm just going to click on Nate Evans, Realtor, and there pops up his page. Nate Evans, real estate agent, Northern Virginia. He's got 101. He's following 101 people. There's 74 followers. And then to
perfect, you know what? Like, and sometimes the smaller guys they do deals too, right?
That's right.
We'll discount them, and if they don't have many followers, they're more apt to follow you back.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think what Joe's comment was, then find something, right? So here I'm going to click on one. Boom. Open house Sunday, March 5th from 1 to 3. It gives the address of the property, and then he's got a little blurb. This Sunday, 1 p.m., don't miss out on your chance to see one of the nicest houses in Potomac Shores and hang out with me. Man. So now I can go on there, and to Joe's point, I can like it, right? Oh, I keep going the wrong way because it's backwards. I can like it, but more importantly, I can comment on it, right?
Man, I'm really sorry I missed that house, missed the open house. That looks gorgeous.
Boom.
That's that, like, you can say literally anything.
And then the other thing, as I keep going the opposite way, is the top button in the right, in this case, is follow, which you can do. Or if I go back to Nate Evans, just the page itself, I don't know. Oh, hold on. I didn't request that. There's the big follow button that you can click on. I mean, it's that easy. Home screen, search, your town, homes, all one word. Hit enter, click on one of the posts. It'll pop up the real estate agent. Click on the real estate agent's name. It'll take you to their page. Follow them, and then find one of their postings and start engaging.
It's literally that easy.
Look, he just taught me how to do it, and I'm the dumbest person on this call. So here you go.
Everyone can do it. That's what we're seeing. Is literally everybody can do this, and I think that's the best advice for today. Is just get started doing something. This is the way to find new people to connect with. Go connect with them and make a plan for what you can commit to do every day, or maybe your commitment is every other day or twice a week, but just keep on doing it.
Guys, think how simple this is. literally, he went through it in 2 minutes, and then I just did a recap in 30 seconds on how you can find 10, in this instance, 10 real estate agents to reach out to. You do that 5 times a week, that's 50 real estate agents, 4 times, 4 weeks in the month. I mean, start adding this up. It does become a numbers game at some point, right? Like the more at bats you take, the more, foul shots you shoot, the better off you're going to get, and you're going to get more and better results. Hey, one of the comments in here, Joe, was, since we're mortgage people, as we look at posts, is it better to focus on commenting on the mortgage related post, or does it not matter? I think I know the answer to the question, but I'd rather have you say it.
I actually think it's better if this is going to sound counterintuitive, but comment on the other stuff. I think you should comment on everything, and definitely comment on the mortgage things if you want to. But it's funny. I think that commenting on those other things, like we went over the example about the peer, right? That's the kind of stuff where you're being genuine and building a relationship versus looking transactional. And realtors can see right through that. The goal here is to make genuine friends, and doing it via social media. Not to you're using this as a sales tactic, but the tactic itself is friendship. And you're doing it, if you do it in a genuine way, you'll get genuine results. If you do it in a way where you're just trying to get something out of them, they're going to see that, and they're going to run the other way.
I think that's the key, right? And you said it a couple of times. I think looking at it from building relationships versus looking at it to try to get a transaction, right? Like, if your only goal is to try to get a referral from that agent through your initial engagement, they are going to see right through that, right? And look, guys, you can go back to old videos that I've been on going back 2 or 3 years during the pandemic. I'll give our buddy Josh Pitts a shout out on this, right? He has interviewed me at conventions, and he has asked me over and over again, what's the one thing LO should be focusing on? And back in the pandemic, when it was a $4 trillion market and there were loans falling off the trees, I kept saying, spend your time and energy, X amount of hours per week, working on building realtor referrals now, because when these rates go from 3 to 7, which we always knew they were going to, every loan officer in the market is going to be bombarding real estate agents. So do the work ahead of time, right? And so
the crazy thing is most realtors are not, or most law officers are not doing it today.
That's right. And they're not doing it today.
Look, the market sucks. I'm not going to get anything. The time is now to run while everyone's taking a break. So just get out there and watch it, and you're gonna do way better than you would in any other market.
Hey, what else did you have? Anything else on that deck you want to kind of?
No, we're out of time. It would take too long to get to the next points, but I think this is a really, really good spot to end on. But I think the thing I want to just end on is the important thing. The most important thing here is to be consistent. That's anything in life, right? Be consistent with this. Be consistent with your posting schedule. We didn't even talk about that. And that's what the next points we're at. But dude, if you walk away with nothing else out of here, is just be consistent. Use this as a sales strategy to build genuine relationships, and be consistent with that, and the results will follow.
So hold on. That is a great way to end it, but we're not ending it there, because I think the next point, and maybe we went off, and I think it was great content, right? So I'm glad we did it. Yeah. But I want you to talk about the next point, because that goes into the consistency. And I think what people think is the time consumption of this is too much for them, right? So go to the posting schedule that you were going to talk about, because I think that's important.
Yeah. Well, I don't have necessarily a posting schedule on here, but I have just some video. Maybe take a screenshot of this, guys. Like, video content is so important today. It is the biggest way to get the broadest audience, and it shows you as a human being. It shows you being personal and real. It allows you to educate or entertain or edutain, but being consistent with your engagement is equally as important as being consistent with your posting schedule. Now, I'm not asking you to do 2 videos a week. I'm not asking you to even do 2 videos a month. You decide how much you can commit to every month and do that. I'll tell you the way to be successful is post at least one video every other week. If you can do that every like 10 days ish, you can post a new video. And, and if you need help, thanks for dropping that link. Drop a link here, send me a DM. We can totally help with this on both video content, but also posting regular educational content automatically. If you have a team that does that with you already, just get something out there so that your name, your face is always showing up in people's feeds. That's important. They need to see you so many times. It's mind boggling. Back in the day, 20, 30 years ago, the old adage in advertising was a consumer, like a borrower or a realtor referral, needs to see your message at least 7 times to even know you exist. That number is now triple because of how much information we're getting all the time in social media. So you have to be your name, your face, your content has to be shown at least 20 times to a realtor or a borrower for them to even know you exist. And then it's even longer past that for them to make a decision to want to work with you. Right? So the amount of media that you need to produce is so high. And if you follow ever Gary Vaynerchuk, what he suggests is way, way, way too much. He's like, you need to post like 100 pieces of content a day. Like, that's too much. You're never going to do that. Focus on what you possibly can do. Get consistent, get comfortable with it, and just start posting something.
So 2 questions.
Yep.
Around this, we were talking about video and creating content. Obviously, this is good for the loan officer, right? And there's so many ways you can do this, right? You can get the 10 tips for first-time home buyers. Again, all you got to do is search online. You can figure out what those are, right? They're out there, right? So you can create content around that. But once you have the relationship, Joe, do you think kind of partnering with a real estate agent on something like this makes sense?
Yeah. If you can get a realtor in your office, or you guys are at an open house and you can do some content together, that is literally the best thing you could possibly do. And on Reels, and that we ought to do another session on this and talk, tactically about creating an Instagram reel. I would love to do that, John, like the actual steps of doing that. But you can create video content and then also tag people in it and co-create content together. And what's cool is if you co-create content, it shows it to both your feeds. So the realtor is going to win because they're going to get viewed into your followers, and then you're going to win because you're going to get viewed with the realtor's followers. It is like the best thing you possibly do. And that's something, again, going back to that conversation, that realtor on the airplane, that goes back to showing value and providing value to your realtor partners that you're either working with or want to work with in your area. Hey, let's create some video content together. It's free. So you're RESPA approved, right? You're not spending any money on it. It's all free stuff, but you're doing it together to create content. Like, that's huge.
Yeah. Okay. So then you wrapped it up really good before. One question that came in that we can hit really quick.
Yeah.
The individual said, my Instagram is in my business name. Is it better for me to have one in my name, like a personal account, or should I have both?
Just make it one, your personal and business together.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay. I wouldn't have them separate.
Got it.
Yeah.
I think we got to every other question. Obviously, guys, we've been dropping Joe's link down there. Hey, there's one person right off the bat you should connect with, right? So you want to connect with 10 people, connect with him. There's one.
Yeah. Or you can also actually let's put back up that the presentation real quick.
Okay.
So I've got here's another way you can do it too. Is there's my Instagram, so the one on the bottom left is Social Coaches. That's our company's Instagram page. We share tips and tricks about how to grow your Instagram, your Facebook, your like for loan officers specifically. The one in the middle, that's my personal Instagram. So that's just me. So you get lots of dad jokes and sunsets on the beach. And then LinkedIn is where we share a lot more tips as well. That's all my personal stuff. So definitely, connect with me on one of these. I would love to connect with you. I'll share whatever I can. Reach out and let's get connected.
Awesome. Hey, Joe, I was excited about it. I think we could probably go on for another hour, but we're not doing that today. I am going to take you up on bringing you back at another
Yeah.
time to follow up on this, because I do really think, and this is why we're hitting on social so much in these Flex series, it's a way for you to separate yourself from your competition.
Yeah.
It's also a way to put yourself where you need to be, where your referral sources, in this case, realtors, as Joe brought that great statistic to us, are at, right? So set yourself up for success. And to me, social is where you got to be.
100%.
Thanks, brother. Joe, really
Yeah.
great. Appreciate it.
Thanks, John. And thanks, everyone. Good to be with you today.
Yeah, awesome. All right, gang. Hey, that was our March Flex series. Again, we send this link out. You get to see it again. The AEs can get it to you. I highly encourage you to follow Joe. Reach out to Joe. As you can tell, he has a wealth of knowledge around this topic, and somebody that I'm glad I got to know, and will continue that relationship into the future. And again, I think our next slide kind of gives you a preview of April. So as always, second Thursday of the month, 2:00 Eastern. I think it's coming up. If not, no worries. I can tell you what it is because I know who it is. Our EVP of Capital Markets, Jason Lee, one of the best in the business, in my opinion, and not because he's at Flagstar, just because I've known Jason for a very long time, and he is well respected in the industry. He's going to come on and do, kind of an update of what Dave talked about, right? Like current economic conditions, market conditions, what we should expect from an interest rate perspective, what we should expect from a secondary perspective moving forward. So him and his team are going to be on to share some updates at that moment in time on where we sit. So that'll be the second Thursday in April, which, real quick, let me make sure I got that right. That would be April 13th at 2 p.m. Eastern. As always, thank you so much for your partnership with Flagstar. We appreciate you. We cannot say it enough. We know you have choices, and we certainly appreciate being your partner in this journey that we call mortgage, as we continue to fight the fight every single day. So thanks again. Thanks for taking the time. Appreciate it. Have a great day.